You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube, Instagram, and the iHeartRadio app. And I don't know if anyone has seen Lilo and Stitch. I asked that because it's the number one movie, again, for the second week. And it's already eclipsed $613 million in 2 weeks. As a person who appreciates movies and appreciates movie theaters, that is great news for movie theaters. And if you don't know, that means that movie is going to do well for an extended period of time in theaters. And it's going to bring in business 7 days a week, not just weekends. And so people are going to have butts in seats throughout the week for many weeks. That conceivably could be in theaters, I don't know, 7 or 8 weeks, which is very uncommon these days. You have a movie like Sinners, which came in at number 6 this week, brought in another $5.2 million, and its total is $350 million, now in its seventh week in theaters, still in more than 2,100 theaters. That's good for movie theaters. That's what you want in a in a healthy box office season. You want movies to perform well and linger longer in theaters. Now, I don't know if this is good news or bad news, but coming in at number 3 this week is Karate Kid Legends. It's good for it because it brought in $46 million worldwide. I think its budget was maybe $45 million. I think it made all of its budget back, not including marketing and promotion in its first week. And given what I actually saw in the movie, I'm very surprised. I would be interested to see, Tuala, how much of a drop-off it has in its first to second week because of word of mouth. When word gets out about the movie, and I don't think it's going to play well, it was trashed by critics. Fans, younger fans appreciate it, but the older fans who are there for the nostalgia are going to be greatly disappointed.
Yeah, this was a weird one because even today, at school work at several people said they like it. They were asking me if I saw it. I'm like, no, I have no interest in going to a theater to see. And they're like, oh man, you should. It's really good. And I'm like, no, wow, you use the phrasing really in front of good.
I think this is one of those Michael B. Jordan Creed 3 movies where if you're a fan of the actor, in this case, I would say Jackie Chan, then you may like the movie. If you're a fan of the Karate Kid franchise, I don't think you'll like the movie. I mean, if you are doing it with knowledge of the ones which came before it, which were all better, and this is a pale copy and Daniel LaRusso is only in the last third of the movie, I don't see how people could like it. But, you know, that's why we have differing opinions. People are going to go to a movie and come away with it with different things. I'm going to see whether it has any legs and whether my word of mouth is the predominant word of mouth or someone else's. And I'm not rooting against the movie. I'm just saying I was eagerly anticipating it and severely disappointed in it as far as what it actually was. It was a wasted opportunity from what I could tell. It did not build on Cobra Kai. It ignored Cobra Kai. And, you know, you have Jackie Chan in there, but you don't really connect back to the 2010 Karate Kid.
So it was wasted connectivity all around.
I think so. I don't think there's any real connectivity at all other than flashbacks, which they show you, which to me is a lazy way of showing, you know, connectivity.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Ralph Macchio, because I keep seeing all of the trailers, Daniel San is not in this film until about the third act.
Absolutely. No exaggeration.
That's absolutely so weird because I swear every trailer, everything you see about it, it's all Miyagi, Daniel, and this kid.
Yeah, you would swear that he was a principal player in the plot. He is not. He's an afterthought. He is a solution to what they see as a problem, and they bring him in to solve the problem relatively near the end. So, you know, for me, I wanted more. I expect more. I hoped for more. I didn't get more. But as we go down the list, just in case I didn't mention it, but Mission Impossible came in number 2 this week. Not surprisingly, it now is up to $353 million. I think it was a fitting send-off, and fans are receiving it as such. That's a movie I do want to see again multiple times because there were a lot of things in there Easter eggs, which were meant for people who had either seen all 7 prior movies and seen them recently that you might appreciate. Because there was a lot where they tied it into the previous movies, and they basically said every movie mattered coming up to this 8th and final one. Every single one. On different levels, but every single one. And in the previous 7, you had different threads, you had different storylines, some would connect, but this last movie, all of the movies have a role to play in this final movie. And I don't want to give it away because there's some reveals and some character retcons and story retcons, which are pretty ingenious. Mark, you saw it, right?
Yeah, it's great fun. Yeah.
Did you see the previous 7 recently to prepare you, or did you go in cold?
I went in cold, but I had a fairly decent memory of them. And like I mentioned before, I wasn't crazy about the first 3, but then they started getting good when McQuarrie took over as director.
Yeah, I would not be mad if there were some more Mission Impossibles, maybe not with Tom Cruise. I would like to see the franchise continue in the way they continue with James Bond. Maybe they take it in a different direction. Yes, you're supposed to leave the audience wanting more, but I actually did want more, and I know we're not going to get more, at least not with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I'd watch more. And you got to remember that in the original show, they changed up their cast.
They did.
I mean, Peter Graves wasn't always the mastermind. In the first series, it was Dan Briggs was the name of the character. And in fact, the show was originally, I think the title was supposed to be Briggs's Squad or something like that. So as long as the format's the same and they go on their impossible missions, you can change up the cast.
They did not, and this is not really a spoiler, but I will say they did not set it up where there was an obvious passing of the baton to a younger character or who was an up-and-comer. They didn't do that.
They squandered the passing of the baton that they were supposed to do with Hawkeye, with Jeremy Renner. Right. Jeremy Renner was going to be the heir apparent, but then they said, nah, audiences didn't respond, and they didn't like him as much as we needed for a lead.
And that also happened with The Bourne Identity. He was in for like one movie. It's like maybe he's not that type of action star where people buy into it. I mean, I don't mind him as an actor, but he was just a supporting role in Mission Impossible. I never saw him as a future leading man for that franchise, but I still would like to see more from it. I would like to visit it.
The thing about the original, the TV show, and I understand that the movies are not the shows, but I like the fact that we don't know anything about the characters in that. And there's no explanation for changing Briggs to Phelps. I like that they just focus on the mission, and the characters are their interior lives, their personal lives. Those are completely secret from us.
Yeah. Yeah. And every once in a while, they'll reveal a little something. They'll give you a little flashback to let you know about this, that, or the other. But by and large, we don't know anything about Ethan Hunt.
No, and I don't want to. That's not necessary in this kind of story.
Yeah, even when he got married, we knew nothing about the time when he was married.
Nope.
Like, even that was kind of like, for all of us, I was like, wait, what, you're married? And he kept that very close to the vest. We don't know anything about Luther. We know nothing about Benji. We know nothing about anyone on the squad.
They made a general statement when they came to the Impossible Mission Force. They were all aspiring criminals on some level.
Yeah.
And they were given a choice. They could, go to prison for the rest of their life, or they could join IMF. That's all we really know.
And since you just rewatched the very first one, what they did was they did a kind of a spin on the "we will disavow you" that was the staple of every TV episode. We finally see a mission that fails and they get disavowed, right?
Well, not only that, I mean, Ethan Hunt got disavowed in various ways and forms throughout the series.
Yeah.
I mean, I can think of at least 4 movies in which he was disavowed.
Nobody wants to get disavowed.
No, and you would think at a certain point, it's like, Ethan, they're not into you. They don't want you. They keep trying to throw you away, and they keep betraying you, and he keeps on coming back for more.
Yeah, he's not going to get an interview with Eddie Murphy.
Had to go there.
Had to go there.
Day 5, waiting for Eddie. It's later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. And when we come back, we're going to tell you about a 7-year infection, allegedly. But you won't believe how someone caught it, allegedly.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640 is Later with Mo Kelly, live on YouTube, Instagram, and the iHeartRadio app. And relationships are an imperfect thing. Sometimes you can have a bad breakup. or you can have a bad fart in your face. They're not mutually exclusive.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Christine Connell. She's on TikTok. She's an influencer, so take it for what it's worth. But she's since made her profile private. Otherwise, I'd play the audio for you. But she's claimed that she's been battling an infection for 7 years because her boyfriend, at the time, no longer her boyfriend, farted in her face. That's what she's saying. She says it all goes back to an incident in a hotel room 7 years ago. She spoke about how her ex-boyfriend and how he got the ultimate breakup revenge on her. Immobile and laying in bed, her boyfriend at the time farted terribly to the point where she couldn't breathe as a result of the stink. She was immobile because she was nursing an ankle injury, as she says. She says that she's been dealing with thick green snot and a fever, and her symptoms prompting her to have a number of tests and scans in an attempt to figure it out. Numerous medical professionals couldn't work out the cause of her infection, but she finally announced the results of the culture test in this video, which is now no longer public, saying it was E. coli. And if you don't know, you can catch E. coli from poop and feces if you don't wash your hands and that kind of thing. And I guess the fart was a little bit more than just a fart.
Yes.
And
Never trust a fart over 50 kind of fart.
And it ended up in her mouth. Infections, according to doctors, can take place when you ingest bacteria from poop that can contaminate food, drink surfaces, or not washing your hands thoroughly. Yeah, I said all that. Yes. Quote, this is what she said. His butt was facing me, and that is when the fart happened.
Raw butt or underwear butt?
No, could you please use the proper terminology? This was a crop dusting incident.
Crop dusting, so that's a raw.
It sounds like a direct shot.
That's a raw butt.
It seems like it's raw.
Okay.
It seemed like, yeah.
So all that matter got straight into her face. Into
There's
her,
probably, there's particulate matter on
Yes.
her lips and everything. She could probably taste some of it. Like,
Yes. And it was really, really bad. So no telling what was evil before.
Yeah. She said it was one of the worst that she smelled in her life. I can't confirm
up
or
close
deny
and
that.
personal, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, her nose was basically right there.
It could also have been a Dutch oven incident.
You want to explain what a Dutch oven is for those
I do
who don't
not.
know? Okay.
Actually, no.
Okay. then.
Don't you need like covers for the Dutch oven?
Yeah.
This I thought was out in the open.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
She was laying there and he basically positioned himself over her face.
Well, that's just impolite.
Yeah. Gave her one.
Now, are they still together?
No, they are not. That much is clear. Now, I don't know if this was the reason which led to the breakup, but it played a role from what it seems like, the way she describes it.
Probably didn't help.
Because she described it as breakup revenge. So it seems like she broke up with him and he got the last laugh because she's dealt with the E. coli sinus infection or something for the past 7 years.
The last toot.
But, like,
Yes, Foosh.
Yes, go ahead.
Come on, Foosh.
that sounds psychotic because she had a swollen or broken ankle?
Well, she is alleging that it was not intentional, but at the same time, she blames him for her predicament.
Wait, so
Well,
this
no,
was like
there is-
misery, and she was hobbled, and the guy just took advantage.
There's
while
no way that
she
that's
couldn't
not
get away?
intentional. That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, because that's I mean, when you're getting an infection, you're right up in there.
I mean, he didn't walk by and just accident, and she just was like sitting up and was like, "Oh, babe, can you get me some?"
Here's
in
the
her
quote.
face.
Quote, his butt was facing me, and that is when the fart happened. Close quote. Though she also said that it was not intentional and that she was just in the path of the fart.
That doesn't make sense.
Like a chemtrail.
So, like, is he
Got caught in the wake? I don't
he's
know.
on the way to the shower, and she was bending down to like tend to her ankle. She looks up and says, "Hey, when you go to the restroom, can you give me some?" And just buttocks is in her face.
I don't have a diagram because if she's laying in the bed, let's say she's on her back,
Yes.
and her head is towards the headboard. I don't know how exactly his ass got to be in her face.
We need some kind of forensic reenactment of this. I'm having trouble picturing
Now,
it too.
I mean, maybe Mark, she was laying sideways on the bed. Maybe she's laying sideways, and one
like she was facing the alarm clock, and he just walked up to the alarm clock or something. I don't know.
and was kind of like maybe bent over to get something out the bottom drawer.
it's not the alarm
And
you were
was-
looking
and
for,
was
ma'am.
was accidentally facing her. I'm just trying to figure out how this could have been. An
I'm not
accident
trying to figure out anything.
and why it was so wet.
You assume that it was wet. We can ascertain it was wet, but she did not state.
So it could have been dry flakes hitting her?
It could have been dry flakes. It could have been just aromatic. We know that there was particulate matter in this because she ingested some of this. If you believe her, and he is the reason for the E. coli.
I can say that, as a dude, you get to a certain age, you best not just trust it to be dry. You better not trust it.
I was told you don't trust a fart after 40.
You don't.
And
you don't.
That extends beyond 50 as well. But why are we blaming the victim here? She did not commit the act. She was the recipient of the act. Let's blame him.
This could be a landmark court
Believe
case.
the woman.
In this case, I absolutely believe her. I believe that his grotesque, naked, buttocks self probably was tired of her, whatever he felt in his mind. She's sitting here, her ankles all broke. We were supposed to go to the game, and now we can't. You know what I got for her? These enchiladas I had last night.
I wonder, did he ever apologize?
Of course he didn't. Of course he did.
Wait, is there any adequate apology for that? By the way, this would have made a fantastic episode of House.
Yes. With Hugh Laurie?
Yeah.
Good point. Absolutely.
Ooh.
So what is she in for? We need to do what? Yeah.
You gotta swab her eyes, her nose, her mouth.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
And as I said earlier in the show, this is going to be about Bill Maher. I don't watch Real Time with Bill Maher because he's just not my cup of tea. But every once in a while, a clip of something he does comes across my desk or gets in the news, and it has me investigate more. So this is what I want to talk about tonight. Bill Maher, first and foremost, he's a comedian. He is always going for the joke. He is also a provocateur, meaning he is also looking to make people feel uncomfortable. And that's fine because that's what he does. But it doesn't mean that he is above critique. On his Friday edition of Real Time with Bill Maher, in his New Rules segment, he touched upon the Diddy trial. He made some jokes about Diddy and said he was a horrible guy, but not surprisingly, he pointed most of his ire at Cassie Ventura specifically and female accusers more generally in this post-Me Too world. Here's just a snippet of it.
I'm aware that it can be difficult to leave an abusive relationship. Most of what I watch on TV is the Lifetime channel. But this should be society's new grand bargain. We take every accusation seriously, but don't tell me any more about your contemporaneous account that you said to two friends 10 years ago. Tell the police right away. Don't wait a decade. Don't journal about it. Don't turn it into a one-woman show. And most importantly, don't keep f***ing him.
Bill Maher is Exhibit A as to why women then and now are apprehensive about coming forward. Because what woman wishes to be both not believed and ridiculed with her name and abuse serving as the punchline for comedians? What woman? Bill Maher conveniently left out that Cassie Ventura did try to leave multiple times. Once was even caught on tape. She was punched, kicked, and dragged back to her hotel room by her hair in broad daylight. The hotel security was bought off and the tape buried. That was just one beating, which happened to be caught on video, and it still didn't matter even when it happened. Maher has since seen that video, as you have, as I have, and it still didn't matter, and he still blames the victim. That's what she got for coming forward. Kid Cudi's car was firebombed. Ventura's family was threatened, allegedly. And Cassie's supposed to think that her life and her family's lives are not variables in how she comes forward or when she comes forward. Maher also conveniently leaves out that New York had to change the law for Ventura to come forward when she did in the form of the New York Adult Survivors Act. It was a confluence of events, the law, the surface video, the whole frickin' Me Too movement, and Diddy actually being remanded to prison and not out on bail for Cassie to testify. Because the same motherfather who dragged her by her hair could have been a threat to her if he wasn't still in prison. But Bill doesn't want to talk about that. Bill wants us to make sure that he likens abuse and trapped women to a day watching the Lifetime channel. How is America supposed to take domestic violence claims seriously when Maher himself and his platform use them as a punchline? Yes, the world has changed in the past 10 years. No one can deny that. But you know who actually has not changed? Bill Maher. Here's just a sampling of the Maher headlines, which give you a sense of where Bill Maher keeps landing on these very same issues. Again, these are just the headlines. Quote, Bill Maher flat out believes Woody Allen amid sexual abuse allegations, slams actors who regret working with him. Bill Maher thinks Louis C.K. should be welcomed back despite sexual misconduct charges. Real Time with Bill Maher sued over allegations of sexual harassment. Bill Maher under fire for 1998 comments condoning sex between a 35-year-old woman and 12-year-old boy. Condoning. Rose McGowan accuses Bill Maher of making sexual remarks to her on his show in the 1990s. Bill Maher sued by Laura Loomer for $150 million over Donald Trump affair allegations. Do you notice the pattern? Do you? Because I sure as hell do. Men get the pass, women get the blame. Oh, you didn't hear me. Men get the pass, women get the blame. There is no equivocation between Diddy and Cassie. None. There is only one person on trial, Sean Combs, and that trial isn't even on radio, TV, or being streamed. The defense hasn't even started with their presentation, and here is Bill out here freelancing without even the pertinent facts, which are not in dispute. And he is telling Cassie indirectly to stop effing him. Bill Maher is not on the side of women, and he never will be. So he should be the last person we should listen to about what's best for women. He is why many women do not come forward. Dudes just like him. For KFI AM 640, I'm Mo Kelly.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.